We're going to be doing a full body resistance band workout. So yesterday I saw a sign at the dentist that said only floss the teeth you want to keep. And that got me thinking about muscle actually, because a lot of people don't know that if you don't use a muscle, if you don't work a muscle, you lose that muscle. And that's not what I want for you guys. So we're going to be working all the muscles a little bit to maintain that muscle mass to stop that decline of muscle. So if you want to join me, this is going to be a follow along workout. We're going to be starting out with a warm up for the upper body. So I'm grabbing a slightly lighter band to start with. If you don't know which band you should start with, try one sort of in the middle of what of this. If you have a set, try one in the middle range, and then we can always add more. So for our warm-up, we're going to do what's called the specific warm-up, where we're getting blood flow into the muscles we're working in the same way that we're going to be working them. So for this, I'm going to do an incline press. So this works the muscles in your chest and your back of your arm and your tricep. I'm going to anchor the band low, about waist height, then grab onto one handle with each hand, then step forward until I feel the band pulling me back so that my hands are in line with my chest and with my thumbs pointed in towards the middle. So from here, I'm going to push up at an angle to the front. This is working those upper fibers of the chest. Now on this one, I'm going to do about 10 reps. It shouldn't feel too challenging yet. All this is doing is getting the muscle warmed up, getting blood flow into the muscle and joint. So I'm trying to prime those muscles to work. This is sort of like what the fuel injector does in your engine, where it starts that fuel into the engine to get it rolling. So we're getting blood flow into that muscle, slowly working up to a heavier weight. So we're not just going straight to a heavy weight right off the bat. We're giving your body time to prepare for that. So now I'm going to do a row. This is working the muscles in my upper arm in the front and my upper back along the shoulder blade and lats. So for this, I'm going to do a row. I'm going to let the band pull me forward, so it's pulling my shoulders apart. And from here, I'm going to pinch my shoulder blades together, pulling back to my rib cage. So I'm pulling down to the rib cage, trying to keep my hand and my elbow on the same level. So pulling straight to the back, bend those elbows. Doing about 10 reps of these. So the exact reps don't matter too much, but somewhere around 10, you should start to feel the muscle warm up. You might feel your heart rate start to increase a little bit. That's okay. That's your body prepping for working out. So today, I'm going to take a little bit more time warming up. So to start with the red band, my goal is to eventually have 3 bands on this. So I'm going to add 1 more band and gradually increase it up to my full working weight. So again, if you don't know what that is, I'd add just a light band to this and slowly build your way up to as heavy as you can go. So we're going back to the incline press. I'm slowly, gradually increasing it to get that muscle primed to go. So I'm pushing my chest out, really trying to expand my chest as my hands come back. That stretch position creates a lot of tension in the chest, and that's where we build the most muscle. Now, I like this way of gradually increasing your weight or gradually increasing the resistance to the bands until you find the weight that works for you. So you could start at your lightest band and work your way up gradually. Try it until you find the band that's heavy enough to challenge you. That's a great way to warm up and that's a great way to warm up and find the correct weight for you to challenge your body. So on this one, it's larger muscle groups. So I'd start somewhere in the middle and then gradually work your way up, because these are large muscles. They usually can handle a bit more load. But if you want to take it, you can always start with the lightest one. It just, for most people, that will be a little bit too light for a compound movement like this. But there's no problem with it. There's no shame in that either. If you want to start with a light band, get the movement pattern down, and gradually work your way up. It will take a little bit more time in your warm-up to do it that way. And so I know for me, the combination of these 3 bands is about where I should be for for it to be challenging. So now I'm going to add the 3rd band. We've finished that warm-up of that specific warm-up for our chest and back. Now we're going into what's called a working set, which just means this is where we start counting the number of sets we do, the number of times we go through that exercise. So I'm going to try for 3 working sets. So 3 sets of these exercises with the full 3 bands. Okay? So if you're following along, this is where we start counting sets. If you haven't quite found the band that's challenging enough for you, go ahead and just keep on adding resistance bands until you find the weight that's working for you. Now, if you need to, you can step forward with 1 foot to help balance. If you still feel like you're being pulled backwards, you can also do this in a kneeling position and pushing out towards the front. Just make sure you anchor the band a bit lower so you're still pushing up at an angle. So you can always do this kneeling. So I like to step 1 foot out to the front, chest up, I'm pushing out towards the front. I'm trying for around 10 reps. Now the exact number of reps, I need to step a little further forward, don't matter in the sense of, it doesn't matter if I do 5 reps or 10 reps or 20 reps, as long as I'm challenged where I'm feeling fatigue in the muscle by that last rep. So you want to go until you feel fatigue in the muscle. And for some people, that's going to be higher reps. Some people, it's lower reps. But I like to shoot for somewhere around 10, because that way it's time efficient. I'm not having to do 30 reps per set. If I get a few more than 10 though, that's okay. And relax. So that was set number 1 of chest press, of the incline press. Now we're going to go into our first set of rows. So letting the band pull you all the way forward. So I shouldn't have my elbows bent here. I should let them completely straighten out. Then step back until you feel that tension in the band. It's a very important part of this, is we want that tension feel all the way through the movement. So from here, I'm gonna pull my shoulder blades back, pinching my shoulder blades together as I bring my hands back to my rib cage. Now you can put 1 foot back to give yourself a little bit better balance if you feel like you're being pulled forward off balance. So I'm trying to keep good form, going all the way back to the front before pulling back again. Because that stretch position of going back forward is where that muscle really grows. So I'm trying to not lean forward into the movement, trying to lean away a bit, doing that row. And relax. So that was our first set. Now we're going to go into our second set. We're trying for 3 total sets today, because when you do multiple sets, it causes the muscle to grow faster. It puts more stress on the muscle, which helps cause it to grow. And the more of that we do, the more muscle mass we can maintain, and the larger your muscles can get. So I'm going down with the band, down at an angle. So it's pulling at about a 30-degree angle, somewhere between 45 and 30 degrees. On that, I would find the angle that feels comfortable on your shoulder. If it feels like it hurts a little bit in your shoulder, try a different angle to see if that helps. Depending on how your shoulder is formed, it can feel a little more comfortable at different angles. So chest up, we're going into an incline press. I'm trying to keep my hands wide at elbow width. And from here, pushing out towards the front. Breathing in and breathing out. Don't hold your breath as you're doing these exercises. That's called the Valsalves maneuver, and it causes your blood pressure to spike. So in general, I'd recommend just continuing to breathe normally as you do this. I'm trying to keep my chest up, really expanding that chest, and relax, step back. Now the great thing about bands on this is that they're only providing resistance under tension. So if you ever are stuck, you can just step towards their tension point where they're anchored, and the resistance goes away. So it's easy to get out of that position. It's not like a barbell where you can get stuck underneath the barbell and someone has to help spot you back up. So that's something I like about these bands, especially if you're working out on a home workout. Still be careful, but now going into our second set of row. I'm gonna bring this just a little bit higher so it's pulling straight at shoulder height. So my hands are straight out to the front. From here, pulling back to the rib cage, bending those elbows as much as you can, really trying to pinch the shoulder blades together. I'm pulling somewhat wide as well, so I'm keeping my hands in line with my elbows still. And I'm going until I feel tired in my shoulders. So feeling tired in these muscles between the shoulder blades and the upper back in the lats. So that was set number 2. We've got one more set of upper body exercises. Then we're gonna go to some lower body exercises. So last set of incline press. Now I like this one because it's a compound movement where we're hitting a lot of muscles at once. So we're working the chest and the triceps and the anterior deltoid all with this. So it's working a lot of muscles at once. Remember how I said only work the muscles you want to keep? So we want to keep them all. So that's why we're trying to work all of them a little bit, because it takes less effort to maintain a muscle than it does to gain more muscle. So we want to work all of them somewhat to keep that muscle mass, because as we age, we tend to lose muscle mass. And that's, if you are looking to keep the muscle mass you have, that is awesome. You're doing fantastic, or that is such a good goal. I want to encourage you to do that. If I can help in any way, let me know. So it's gonna take work. There's no way around that. There's no hack. There's no special workout that's gonna not be difficult. Actually, some of the best workouts are the ones that are difficult. And there's no way around that. But it doesn't, we don't need to go so extreme. A lot of people jump right into like a boot camp or something like that, a workout boot camp. And they go from 0 to 100 and they feel terrible and they never go back. So it's better to gradually build step by step, just one step at a time, up in resistance, and do what your body can handle, just slightly outside that comfort zone. So it might be a little uncomfortable, but as you do it, you'll notice the changes that happen in your body. You might see a little bit more muscle mass in your upper body or in your arms or the places you're working. Or you might feel that it's easier to push the same weight where you've gotten stronger. And that happens by little steps, one step at a time, progressively overloading that muscle. And that's what causes that muscle to change and adapt and grow. So we're telling your body, send nutrients to that tissue, keep it strong, keep it healthy. And that's what lets it grow and become stronger. We're actually, as you work your muscle, there's an enzyme in it that makes it more sensitive to insulin. So we're actually pulling sugar into the muscle, and that's sugar that doesn't end up in the fat. So if you're ever looking to have less calories go to your fat cells, which I think we all are really, this is a great option for telling your body where you want that sugar to be stored. And relax. Did you know that sugar is stored in the muscle? It's called, when it's stored in the muscle, it's called glycogen or muscle glycogen. We actually have hundreds of calories of sugar stored in our muscle from what we eat. Now, you don't have to necessarily eat sugars to get that sugar into your muscle. It's just normal food gets broken down into sugar and it's stored in the muscle. But if we're not using that sugar in the muscle, it has to send it to other places, like your liver or your fat cells. So that's why we want to work the muscle so that that was actually our set number 3, wasn't it? So that was our third set for chest and back. Now we're gonna move to lower body exercises. So for this, I'm going to do the same thing for warming up. I'm going to drop the band down to a lower band and then gradually work my way up. But since I'm already warmed up a little bit from the upper body, it probably won't take as long to go get warmed up for the lower body. So for this, I'm gonna step right in the middle of the band. I'm gonna switch to this camera. So I'm gonna step right in the middle of the band with one foot, and then bring my hands up to my shoulders, and then step with the other foot into the middle of the band. So try and step wide, step wide. So we're gonna do a sumo squat. So I want your feet double shoulder width apart. This is working the muscles on the front of your thigh and inside your thigh. From here, I'm going to sit down as low as I can. I'm trying to bring my elbows to my knees or as close as I can make it. So going down low, I should feel that in the inside of my thigh and top of my thigh. Doing about 10 reps of these. Now the higher your hands are, the more tension it's gonna be. Should feel that working in the top of your thigh. Now I'm trying to really sit back so my back stays flat. So when I'm sitting down, I'm trying to keep my back flat. So there's a straight line all the way from my ear down through my shoulder into my hips. So don't round to the back, keep that back straight, really sit down with the hips, okay? And that's our sumo squat. So the other exercise we're gonna do is a pull through. Now this works the glutes and the hamstrings back in here. So I'm going to attach the band to something sturdy. And then stepping through the band, so it's going right between your legs. You're going to walk forward till you feel the band pulling you back through your legs. So from here, try and keep your legs straight, your back straight. You're going to stand up, pushing your hips forward. So this is working those muscles in the back, that posterior chain. So trying to walk forward till I feel that tension and pull forward. This is a pull through exercise. Now I want the band low enough that it's pulling straight back as I do this. I'm trying for about 10 reps of these. Now, if you have tight hamstrings, this is doing two things. It's gonna help stretch those hamstrings and strengthen them in a stretched position. It's very important though, you don't bend your back. So I'm pushing my hips back, so I'm not rounding at my spine. That's going to potentially put more pressure on my back and can lead to discomfort in your lower back. So be careful about that. Don't round your back. If you feel like you're rounding your back, you might need to do a lighter weight or less reps. Excuse me a moment. So that was a pull through for the legs. So I'm gonna add an extra band. So I want this to be challenging. So today I'm gonna be doing the red and black bands for the legs. So this is adding to body weight. So if you think about it, it's however much you weigh plus this. So I wouldn't compare yourself to other people. Find the weight that works for you. It might be you start out warming up without a band entirely, doing sumo squats with no band, and then add a little bit extra to that with a band after you're warmed up. So for me, I need to do a little heavier than body weight. So I add the band to this exercise. So I'll walk my feet out to a nice wide stance, double shoulder width, and keeping the bands up high, going to bend my knees, keeping my back straight into a sumo squat. Now, important thing, I'm trying to keep my knees out to the sides. I'm not letting them tuck in towards the middle. So pushing those knees out, really having that wide stance. In martial arts, we call this horseback riding stance because it looks like you're riding a horse. Do we have anyone in the chat who's ridden a horse before? I've never actually ridden a horse, but I know that you have to really bring your legs out wide and grip that horse's body around the rib cage. One of the things we used to do in martial arts is sit in this stance, in this low stance. It really caused your legs to burn, but eventually, as you did it more, you could hold that position because the muscle adapted. So going down, low as you can, and back up. Just feel that burning in the legs. Now I'm shifting to a pull through. So I'm attaching this to something sturdy. If you don't have a post like this, you could use a tree or a door anchor, anything that's not gonna move. So make sure whatever you attach it to, it's strong enough to hold that. So stepping through, back straight, trying to keep my legs from bending. Walking to the front till I feel that band pulling me back. So I'm hinging from my hips, not from my back, not from my knees, all from that hip. So walking forward, hinging forward, and then up. Doing that pull through, working the glutes and hamstrings. Now see, I'm not bending from my back. I'm pushing my hips back to keep my low back straight. That's really gonna add to that hamstring stretch. Now hands, doesn't matter if they're palms up or in, just whatever feels comfortable with you, where you're not gonna get pinched. I'm gonna try for 2 more. And relax. This exercise feels very neglected. This muscle group, I should say. A lot of people have weak hamstrings. They think they're tight, but they're tight and weak. It's because they haven't been worked very much. So this can be a great exercise for anyone who is feeling like they're really inflexible in their hamstrings, because it will not only pull on those hamstrings to stretch them, but it puts them in under a load in that position. So we're strengthening those hamstrings to be able to handle that sort of force. So it's pulling nutrients into the hamstrings, help building them up so that they can not only adapt, get more flexible, but also get stronger. So that's what we don't want, is a muscle that's weak and tight. That's not a good thing. It usually causes discomfort in other areas of the joint. So going to sumo squat, we're going for 3 sets total. This is our second working set for this exercise. So I'm going to step in the middle of the band with one foot, pull the band up to shoulder height. We're going to adjust this just a little bit. Try and step where you're about 1/3 on this side, on your same hand, same leg, and then about 2/3 of the band on the other side. So you could just put the band where you're right at the handles or right at the clips to make it longer on one side than the other. And stepping into the middle of the band. So stepping with one foot, bring it up, and step with the other foot. That way it's not so high tension, getting it up to your shoulders. Walk your feet out so they're nice and wide, in that wide sumo stance or horseback riding stance. And then bending your knees, keeping your knees out in line with your toes. So you want them just as wide as your toes. Bending down as low as you can go. You feel on the inside of your thigh. I'm trying to not lean forward that much. A little bit is okay, but the more upright I stay with my body, the more my quads, those muscles on the front of my thigh, are working. I'm really trying to bend the knee. So I do this, I'm getting lower as I'm warming up, or the muscles getting more pliable. And that's it. So that was our second set. We're almost done. Anchoring the band low, doing pull throughs. So stepping over the band, pulling through the middle, hinging at your waist, pulling up to the front. And trying for about 10 of these. Feel that really pull on your hamstrings. If your knees bend as you're doing this, we're taking all that tension out of the hamstrings. That's why we want to keep the knees straight. Going for 2 more. Whoa. Try and look up as you're doing this. That'll help keep the back straight. And relax. Again, to let tension off, you just walk back towards the anchor point. So Karen, tell me if I'm mispronouncing your name, says, "Yes, champ, I see you. Hey, thank you for being here. Appreciate it." So, if you're joining just now, host these live streams at Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you're looking to work out, have someone to do that with you, I'm here to help you guys. So if you're looking for a friend to work out with, looking for advice, I am here to help. So we're going back to sumo squats, working the muscles in the front of the thigh and inner thigh in here. So if you're looking for a workout plan, I do all my workouts on live stream. Or if you're just looking to do your own workout but want to do it with company, I'm here to help. That's my goal, is to have a community supporting one another, because I think we all need to do more resistance training. I want you to maintain your healthy muscle all through your life. So from here, pushing your knees out in line with your toes, You're gonna bend down into that horseback riding stance and back up. So try and keep your back straight, bending down with your knees. We're going for about 10 reps. Two more. That resistance band adding in a bit extra. And 10. And relax. Hang on a moment. All right. So we've got one more exercise to do and then we'll call it a day for the weekend. So that way we can just relax and enjoy the weekend. So last exercise, doing a pull through. Whoa. There we go. So anchoring the band down low, stepping over, walking through, keeping your back straight and your legs stiff. Your feet can be a little bit wider than shoulder width, so that way your hands can go through your legs. Just do what's comfortable. Or find where it's not gonna pinch you, where you feel comfortable. And from here, pulling up to the front, trying for about 10 reps, maintaining that good form though of keeping your back straight all the way through. So I'm really trying to keep my knees straight, my back straight for that hamstring stretch and tension. So it's strengthening the hamstrings while strengthening them. Hamstrings and glutes. Whoa. One more, and 10, and relax. All right. So with that, we covered a majority of the muscles in the upper body and lower body. So if you like these workouts and want to see more, I host these live streams on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So hope to see you guys there. Stay happy, healthy, and keep on going.